So hi, we're here at the Internet Identity Workshop, the 14th of them, in Mountain View, California in May 2012. So hi, who are you?
Hello, I'm Dazza Greenwood of Civics.com and MIT's Media Lab. And I'm here, as you said, at IIW and facilitated a couple of sessions, actually. The first session yesterday was on how to define use cases so that you can specify the requirements or constraints of an online identity system and know what the scenarios are that it's supposed to support, and then be able to build the system in a way that reflects what the intention was. And what was a little different is we had three layers. Instead of just doing the technical use case, which is what you frequently see in design documents, this had a business, legal, and technical dimension so that we could get a fuller set of all of the sources of requirements for the system. Turns out just getting the technology right, while that's very, very important, is not sufficient. The legal and the business aspects also have to be thought through and aligned with the technical rules.
How do you tell if they're properly aligned and if you're successful that way?
So, a lot of the alignment process between business, legal, and technical rules is subjective. And if the people on a team are representative from business departments, COOs, CEOs, folks with profit and loss responsibility, or people that are CFOs or other folks that are responsible for the business aspects of the system, people from legal or regulatory compliance, if they're represented, people from the CIO or CTO's office or other technical people are represented, by showing the document to all of those people and having them hash out what their parts of the requirements are and seeing the others and talking it through is one sort of subjective method. The more particular way that I do to make sure is I actually draw pictures. And so I've got pictures with stick figures that are business use cases with arrows to show what's happening. And there's legal use cases that show the parties and the transactions and rights and obligations. And there's technical use cases that show the actors and the actions and the systems and technologies. And you should be able to literally like overlay those and get pretty much a picture. If you overlay them and see that some things are totally out or there's some roles and important things happening on one layer that are unrepresented on the other two, then that can be a visual aid to trigger that more conversation's needed.
Any takeaways?
Yeah, and the second session I did today was about how to write the system rules that govern these systems. Sometimes they're called trust frameworks, and they are basically multilateral contracts that will make sure that there's enforceable, known results that will occur and that people can feel comfortable with when they choose to opt into a given system. So those are called trust frameworks. And with those, there's business, legal, and technical sections, perhaps not surprisingly. That's sort of the method that I like to follow. I think my major takeaway, yet again, was IIW serves a unique purpose within the identity ecosystem that's emerging in the identity community broadly. It's a place where people from many different constituencies with different points of view can get together and talk about the important issues of the day and the emerging architectures and infrastructure that will comprise our identity ecosystem of the future. We had people from government here, from the NSTIC team, National Strategy for Trusted Identities in Cyberspace. We had many people from industry. There were many academics. There were many users of different sorts. We had a vast variety of different stakeholding groups. And to the credit of IIW, there is a method here where people feel comfortable to talk about what their points of view are in community with others and begin to find where the synergies and the synthesis wants to happen. And that's an invaluable role for the emergence of this identity ecosystem. So my major takeaway was IIW is serving a very, very important role. My particular takeaway from my point of view is that it seems like there's sufficient, it seems to me that there's sufficient agreement that people want to have a standardization of system rules and trust frameworks, and it looks like we're going to start a technical committee in OASIS, one of the partners that work with us here in IIW a lot, to create a technical specification of like a table of contents of system rules, and I think that there'll be some other standardization work as well. So while a number of us were talking about maybe doing that, having the dialogues here and a number of people that are the stakeholders in the room talk it through and hash out some of the implications really gave me confidence to start the project now as opposed to maybe later, maybe never.
So people wanted to follow up?
there was a lot of interest in follow-up. So I've got a pocket full of business cards of people that want to be on a list, and people are already signing up on the form on my website for more information. So it was great. So if people are interested in learning more about any of this, they can come to civics.com, which is civics.com, civics.com, and there are a number of menus there on the blog that include information about the trust frameworks, include information about the use cases, and under the blog section, there's a lot of postings with videos and other materials that are relevant, as well as contact form.
Great. Thanks very much.
Thank you.